Okay, good evening, Anu. Welcome to Just Like That.
Thank you, Sahil. Lovely to be here. I love the topic just like that. So I'm here just like that and would like to understand how can I help anyone just like that.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Anu, because we actually share something in common, which is where I thought it'd be a wonderful conversation to have with you, which is about living life on the edge, right? It is just so beautiful because you're right there at the edge. There's a lot of thrill, there's a lot of adventure. There could be something that hits you on your face which you never expected. And of course, more importantly, you're living outside of your comfort zone. So every day is a new day, every day is different. But obviously, I've seen you really grow up the ranks at City. 22 years in an organization, played various roles, and then got to the corner office, and then realized you want to do something different, and living on the edge every moment. So take us a little bit through your journey, Anu. How has it been? How has living on the edge manifested for you?
It's a long question, and I don't think a few minutes would do justice, but I shall try. So I think it really started when I was really small. In school, I was in a boarding, and I think I wasn't traumatized like they show you in Bollywood about the boarding schools. I think that experience made me more confident. It made me take my decisions on my own. So as a result, one of the first things which I took a risk was when I went to medical school and realized that I actually don't want to be pursuing this as a profession. It was a huge risk, and as you can imagine, a difficult one to explain to parents who are doctors. And I think that was the first risk where I jumped into psychology, and that led into HR. Excuse me. But I think for me, it was a boost of confidence. It was scary. It was scary because it's like jumping into a pool, and the scariest moment, if you don't know how to swim, is just the moment before you jump into the pool. So that's exactly how it felt like. And I think consequently, I joined different roles and try to do juggle different things, different geographies, and those experience gradually built that, working intuitively and taking a risk on myself has held me in good stead. So that's always
Hmm.
been part of my living philosophy, my journey. And I continue to take bets, I continue to take risk, and time will tell if it continues to play.
Yeah. But you put it so beautifully, right? That when you're just at the edge and you're about to jump, a lot of us
Yeah.
end up just turning around and saying, no, I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll do it next time. Or maybe I'll do it another day. Or maybe I'm not in the right frame of mind or the right mood. So how do you really stay at the edge, be it bungee jumping, be it getting in a swimming pool if you're scared of water, be it anything in the world? How do you really just push yourself at the last stage to just jump off? Because once you're in it, as you said, intuitively or otherwise, we all find coping mechanisms to deal with it and we end up succeeding.
Yeah.
But taking that step is what matters the most.
I think don't overthink, don't overanalyze. Um, it's a bit like if you get into, well, do a bit of pros and cons. You don't want to kill yourself. But overanalyzing can be paralyzing in some ways. So when you take risks, the point is, downsides can't be avoided. It's a risk, right? You don't know it will work, it will not work. But I'd rather put myself into a positive mindset, thinking how I can make this work, rather than a defensive mindset, trying to defend myself and saying, what if it goes wrong, then what will I do? And believe you me, I'm human. There have been times I've gone through that emotion. So about a year back, when I left a big corporate to say, well, I'm going to get into an entrepreneurial VC space, wasn't easy. It was very scary, actually, leaving a safe payroll, leaving working with big organizations where everything is taken care of. And I remember one of my mentors asked me, so what's the worst that can happen? So I said, maybe my venture will never work. And he said, well, then go and do, whatever. I won't use the expletive. He said, go and do your HR job again. And I said, well, actually, I quite enjoyed doing my HR job. So, that's not such a bad alternative. And the moment I played that scenario, I almost felt liberated, Sahil. It was like, hey ho, if it doesn't work, there are other options. But the only thing I would say is when you take risks and you go in with a mission, literally mission impossible, don't think too much about option B. There will be option B's when they have to be there. What you really need is that zealot focus, and that's what brings about the energy. So let's continue with that example of swimming, right? The moment you think there's an option to get out of the pool and go into knee deep water, you're never going to learn how to swim. So you got to learn how to breathe. You got to learn how to, pull your head out of the water and take that breath into your lungs. Because if you had any other option in that moment, you will take it because you feel that this is almost life threatening. And then once you learned how to swim, you feel so silly when you look back and saying, oh my God, I was so scared about it. But there's nothing really to be scared. So fortunately, in many moments in life are pretty much like that, actually.
Yeah. But you actually spoke about that whole concept of a safe payroll, right? And with the world being so uncertain and VUCA in its truest form manifesting last year, the safety net, if I may call it so, becomes very, very important at various life stages. So, do you
Absolutely.
think it's the right time to really manifest this whole need to bite the entrepreneurial bug? Or is it just about when you feel like just do it, things will fall in place and you believe in serendipity then? Is there a logic to the whole concept or is it just fuzzy?
Look, my view is there is never a right or a wrong time. Okay, when it's time, it's time. And, I think this whole safety in a corporate world is a bit of a myth. Being in HR for 25 years, the number of restructurings that we've handled, you think you are safe, right? But there is somebody else who's taking a decision on your life, your compensation, your capability, your job security. And, to be candid, I think COVID has seen enough of layoffs. So, what is the definition of safety? And I think that's really our own mindset when we define safety. It does feel safe. I've been through it. So I don't take this lightly. I've been through, when you have a team which works for you, a secretary who manages your calendar, automatically a payroll is credited into your account. It's beautiful. But what was I missing? I was missing some sense of actualization in my view, right? And was scary. I mean, I was like, felt I was on the edge of this peak and I was ready to jump and I can't really see where I will land. So that's the feeling I had when I jumped off. And today when I jumped off, I actually felt I didn't go down. I'm gliding. I'm actually in the air and I'm soaring. So that's the difference. At that point of time, I couldn't even visualize that what will work, what will not work. And today when I look back, it's probably one of the best decisions that we have taken, or rather I've taken, and I've never looked back. So I think safety in a corporate world, in a corporate job, is as good as you think it is for now. You don't know what wicked HR people like us are cooking in the background, right? And what deals are being made. I don't want to scare anybody, but the fact is, we know, Sahil, you and I know how this works.
Yeah.
So, when that conversation around restructuring or redundancy happens, that's not pleasant, and the receiving party does not feel good about it. So, I think if you're planned in your head that my security, my freedom is, right here, it will hold you in much better stead.
So very interesting perspectives, Anuj. So, if you're looking at it in that sense, job security could actually be a mirage of sorts, right? Because if you're not going to be relevant, not going to be agile, of course, with the kind of changes happening around, you may not even realize, but you could be ending up having a difficult conversation sooner than you really thought, right?
Yeah, and
But
you just said it's a VUCA world, right? I mean, if you go back and saying hospitality and tourism is decimated, no fault of anybody's. That's how it is. When I was with banking, when we were a part of global financial crisis, thousands of offices were closed, millions of people lost their jobs. It wasn't their fault. Again, it was what it was. So all I'm saying is when you are in that world, there's so much beyond your control. And sometimes now that I look back and I can reflect, um, it's like you are almost operated in some ways. There's just too much of macro to look around. As an entrepreneur, yes, there is, I work much harder on a lighter note. I know if I don't get up in the morning and I don't work, there are things which will actually not move. There isn't this big system which is moving things around, and you're almost a cog in the wheel. So that's not lost on me. And that makes me get up with a mixed sense of excitement and fear every day, because I know if I don't work, it's not going to happen. But at the same time, when you see that plant growing day by day, and you see the leaves coming and the flowers coming, it's a different experience. I mean, I'm a woman, it's like seeing a baby grow up, and it's a different joy, which is just not explicable here.
Right. No, I actually really like, and I was just thinking while you were speaking of what your mentor said to you to say, worst case, what will happen? It doesn't work. You come back to what you were anyway doing. But I think that whole concept of a safety net of coming back uh, can work very well when either you're in a certain position with certain amount of credibility that you build with certain amount of experience. And at the same time, when you have a couple of crores in your bank account, it feels a lot more easier. But if
Absolutely.
you're in a space where today you say, you know what, I don't like my job, I'm saturating, and you
Yeah.
say, okay, I want to put down my papers without another job in hand, is there any surety that a couple of months or a year down the line, you're going to get the same job, come back at the same level, at the same pay grade? I don't think so.
I would agree. I think you make a very valid point. So I don't want to be utopian here and saying, look, everybody quit your job and start doing something. There are certain realities of life, and we all harbor, caring responsibilities. So I think if I was to go 15 years back, maybe I didn't think about it because, having a stable financial income was important for me too. I had responsibilities. Today, where I stand, you're right, I've reached that level of financial stability. But the reality is, Sahil, I probably reached that financial stability 5 years back, not today. Like many others, we are a dual working couple. On a lighter note, I could have done this earlier because I know the fire will keep burning and I could take more risk. But I yet couldn't, I took time to get to that point. And I think somewhere, maybe I had a great stint where I was working and I really enjoyed the quality of work I did. And I think I owe a lot to some of the leaders that I worked with because it was very entrepreneurial and I had enough empowerment to craft my own path. It is quite possible that if I did not work in that environment, I might have jumped the ship faster. So you're absolutely right. It's not for everybody. So please do not, as I said, do not kill yourself. So when you start to learn swimming, you do not jump into a 12 feet pool. You jump into a 6 feet pool where, if need be, you can get out of the pool. So that would be my advice. So sort out things that don't come into the way of your ambitions. And in the Maslow hierarchy of needs, if your physiological and your hunger and food needs are not fulfilled, this will never remain a success. So there are those things to be taken care of for sure.
Right. So great advice coming from your side to all the viewers who just like that. But as we come to the end of this segment, on a lighter note, Anu, right? There was a Bollywood movie where they said, if you're not very sure of what you want to do, close your eyes, think of your parents,
Right.
think of what they had to say, and
Yeah.
go do it.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway for the road for people who are watching this last segment? If they really have it in them, but they lack a little bit of confidence, lack a little bit of self belief, what's your mantra to them to say, take the plunge? Of course, you spoke about the pros and the cons, but a little bit more, one or two takeaways for the road.
I would just say it's not life threatening. Okay. I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs, so feel free to reach out to me. But honestly, taking this risk is not life threatening at all. And I would repeat what I said. What is the worst that can happen? It will never work. It's fine. Go back and find another job. So it is not life threatening. It doesn't put you behind in your career. You will gain something so invaluable that it will make you a better success wherever you work. So don't worry about it too much. If you are stable in terms of your personal life and other financial needs that you have, it's a thing you must try once. And as I said, I'm probably late in my journey. I didn't have any Bollywood moment in this. Sorry to disappoint you, Sahil. But, honestly, it was one of those moments where I said, this is it. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. And as my 17-year-old, I'm learning new lingos. It's like YOLO, you only live once, right? And so I was like, try to karke dekhte hain. है दम की नहीं होगा तो कोई बात नहीं. So just remember, there is no downside. It's not life threatening. Most people worry that if it doesn't work out, it'll be embarrassment. What will I do? How will I pay my bills? India, the amount of talent needs we have, we are always hiring in the corporate world. There'll be someone out there looking for a talent like you. So believe in yourself and go find the real self that you haven't been in touch with so far.
Fantastic. Anu, thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you for sharing this space just like that. And of course, the wonderful candid conversation, like the tagline for Just Like That goes, candid conversations with minds on things that matter. Thanks a ton, Anu.
Thanks,
Wonderful
Sahil.
talking to you.
And just I would say, since we are in JLT mode and, so paths are just made by walking just like that. So just keep moving just like that. Thank you, Sahil. Pleasure being here. And thank you for having me.
Take care.